My name's Aaron, welcome back to my channel. How are you? I'm fantastic and I'm doing really well. Today I am viewing Tom Ford Bitter Peach. This is an eau de parfum. The top notes are peach accord, Sicilian blood orange oil, cardamom oil, heliotrope, davana oil, rum accord cognac oil, jasmine absolute, sambac. The base notes are sandalwood, benzoin, cashmere, vanilla, tonka bean absolute, vanilla absolute, strax resinoid and Indonesian patchouli. It is £228 for 50ml. Sounds delicious. So first off, I would expect nothing less than perfect information on the back. And in case you're interested, the information, which is the allergens, are called the INCI, which is the International Cosmetic Nomenclature. So what am I expecting from this? I am expecting fruit accords, and accords are a combination of musks, middle notes and top notes combined within a formulation. So I'm expecting a fruit accord, something lactonic, lots and lots of acetates. And I'm also expecting peach aroma chemicals. Do we have our fragrance samples? We engage with our higher self. Let's get testing. I'm also expecting it to be slightly fluffy and sweet. So I am hit with straight away vanillin and aldehydes, and the aldehyde is C14, and that smells of peach with gamma-galactone. So this is exactly what I was expecting, a peach accord sat in Isu Super and Hedione, and some clean white must anchor it to the skin and to allow this to work onto the skin. Beautiful production. I mean, it smells exactly like I thought it was going to. It's quite radiant. It has a radiant peach feel to it, but it does smell overly synthetic peach. It doesn't smell particularly like a natural peach. There is lots of wood aroma chemicals in this, and especially sandalwood raw materials, which I really would expect with this, because you sort of think about, I've spoken about this before, but with sandalwood raw materials there's quite a lot, and some are very soft and go beautifully with sort of fruit aroma chemicals, and they would sit with the peach accord. And if you are starting the wonderful world of perfumery, I've said this before, but you really need to concentrate on accords. You really need to develop a fruit accord, your own rose accord, your own sandalwood accord, because that really is what perfumery is. That's what I do. I always start with an accord and then build around it. So I have to have, because that's what you're smelling. Gamma-galactone is very, very apparent in this actually, and it gives that soft lactonic quality to it. And lactones to me are a very interesting raw material because they give a feel within a fragrance. Within chocolate, lactones make it smell of milk chocolate, and have that beautiful sort of like cream or milky sort of quality. Without this, it wouldn't have that soft skin feel. So the lactones when this are making it smell like really soft skin actually. You're getting a really expansive formulation. That's the Hedione, and Hedione is really interesting within a formulation because it does interact in the human brain to give that feeling of sort of, oh, I like that sort of feel, a light and airiness. I was reading that Hedione was 15% of the jasmine molecule. When they broke down what was in the jasmine that was left, they wanted to find out what the 15% was, and that was Hedione, and that is the light airiness. But it is not floral. What it is it just smells of slightly floral, very airy, quite soft actually. It's quite an interesting raw material to smell, but I would never just put it on its own. It always absolutely has to be blended within a formulation. And for me, I always reach for Hedione if I want to give lift and if I want to give an airy feel to it, and that is what is happening within this formulation. Now the sharpness within the formulation, because there is a sharp feel to this, you have a softness and then you dry down to that sort of sharpness, which is the bitterness, and that is a combination of acetates and terpenoid acetates actually, which smell, they're brilliant just within fruit formulations. They smell like sharp greenness, and they are just brilliant to elevate a formulation. Now the dry down is quite interesting because that's when you start to smell the naturals, which I really love Tom Ford. They always take you on this journey of aroma chemicals and drying down to naturals, and that's really what I think of when I think of Tom Ford. I think of really good, robust fixatives and a lovely journey. It's sort of quite an exciting house. And you're smelling, obviously, patchouli, because patchouli works really well with gourmands. And that helps to give a luscious sort of green feel, to a very natural feel and some depth to it, some sensuality. But you're also smelling sandalwood in this, and sandalwood really works with the sandalwood raw materials. I really would sort of think that. And vetiver gives a slightly green feel to this. So you're getting a really green, peachy feel. And bergamot's really lovely. I'm working a lot with bergamot at the moment. I really love bergamot. And there's lots of different qualities of bergamot actually. And you really can tell the difference in the quality of bergamot, because it just, some smell so sweet and soft and citrus, and some smell just like they're just very tart. They sort of tart in bergamot. I prefer personally the really soft variation. They work really beautifully with vanilla, and this is sort of what's working with this. You're getting the soft citrus working through. Orange oil and bergamot help to give the elevation and work brilliantly through the formulation. This is settled beautifully into a skin scent now, as I thought peach would. I didn't think it would be massively I thought it was going to be like this. So this is exactly what I thought it would be. On to my final thoughts. So I'll go through my marks for you. The first 4 marks are technical ability, whether the outer box is safe, legal, complies, whether I think the raw materials inside are at a safe and legal concentration, and whether I think it's safe for you to wear. That's more importantly. And this absolutely complies with everything, and it is a 4 out of 4. I would expect nothing left. If they release something a little bit dangerous and a bit damaging to the skin or environment, I would be really surprised. And I just know that Estee Lauder really comply with everything, just what you would expect. If you're spending your money, you want to feel that it's safe to wear. I think it's overpriced. I mean, £220 for sandalwood, bergamot, sweet orange, vetiver as the base. The sandalwood was quite expensive, and then you're going up to a primarily massive amount of aroma chemicals and terpenes and terpenoids and all that sort of stuff. And I love see it's about 165. I think that's a really good price. I do think it's overpriced, so I'm going to give it a 1 out of 2 for that. Do I like it? I don't know. This is the problem. It sort of smells very fluffy and very synthetic. I personally would have loved some interesting raw materials in this, to be really honest with you. It's missing out on some balsam notes, sort of like the sap from a tree, sort of thing about it, and they can have a sort of really velvety effect upon a formulation, and they can help to increase a sort of almost like a boozy quality within a formulation, and I think that's sort of missing from this. So I'd love a few absolutes, and I would love some benzoin in this, and I don't know why benzoin wasn't put with vanilla. The two really just go together and would have made it a gourmand monster, and for me it's sort of missing and lacking X factor. But it really is a fantastic technical feat of how to assimilate a peach and sandalwood and vanilla accords balanced on nicely super hedione and white musk. It reminds me, and I mean, I'm 46, so years and years ago I was obsessed by, in my lunch break when I was about 16 or 17, I used to go to the body shop, and they had these massive plastic discs with a dome, I think. You were tiny little bottles, and I was obsessed by going in there, and I think you could mix them, I can't really remember. And they did one that was, I was obsessed with the white musk one, but I was also obsessed with a peach one, and this reminds me of almost like a toned down version of a 1990s body shop peach. That's coming to mind. And I think with all the IFA regulations, everything's sort of been toned down quite a lot, which is a shame. But there are ways around it, simply because of, I feel it's slightly overpriced for just the amount of naturals in it and the choice of raw materials. I was sort of expecting something a bit more punchy, and the lack of naturals and all of it, I'm going to mark it as 7 out of 10 because I think that's fair for what it is. You are going to get a beautiful skin scent, and you're going to get a really nice skin feel, and it's going to dry down powdery, and it's going to dry down reminiscent of clean clothing. So this smells like very expensive fabric conditioner, which I personally love. The smell of freshly laundered clothes, I think it's beautiful. But you're not going to get monstrously projecting. You're going to get sort of somewhat 6 to 8 hours as a skin scent, which is that what you're after, and that's what you love. So I hope you love that review. Thumbs up and subscribe for more fascinating, interesting content. Lots of moving hands and lots of fragrance reviews. I hope you're staying safe and well, and I'll see you soon.